Dear Pastor Bob, how do you find a biblical church and not a cookie cutter copy? I've never heard it said that way. But let's talk about this. A biblical church, you don't start by looking for a building. This is important. You know, there are all kinds of impressive buildings, and some people say, wow, that church looks really nice. I think I'll go there. Not a good way to choose a church. You choose a church by people, and you may have to go to a few first. If you're going to a super church, a great big one, well, that's fine as a spectator sport, but it's not okay for, small group interaction unless they have that there, and then that's great. But what you're really looking for is a group of people who can surround you, uplift you, encourage you, have your back, people you can interact with, people you can share your spiritual gifts with, and they'll share theirs with you. A church where it isn't just spectator sport driven, just the pastor speaking and everybody listening and no interaction, but something where the church is vital, where the people themselves have a lot of interaction with each other. That's a biblical church. And, it's okay to have a biblical cookie-cutter church, because the Bible has some very good ideas on what a church ought to be. But again, you don't start with the look of the building. You begin by looking at people. When you walk into a church for the first time, how many people come and welcome you? How many people do you feel like you can relate to? Go out to lunch with somebody, see how they feel about the church. See, don't just get the hype, but get the heart. And begin to really analyze, are these people, first of all, that can be great friends to me? Secondly, people who can encourage me and I can encourage them. And thirdly, where we can share the Word of God and grow in it together, using our spiritual gifts and using our talents and, Socratic discussion. And when you find that place, you found home. You found church. And once again, I want to remind you, this is important, the church isn't a building. And we keep kind of looking for church that way. The building. We choose a church according to their building. That one's too small. That one hasn't been taken care of very well. That one's too big. This one looks really nice because it has this and this and this. Nothing to do with the building. You may find a church that has no building, honestly, that meets in a restaurant or meets in a coffee shop or somebody's home. Or you may find a church that is beautiful and the sanctuary is beautiful. Those are things you look for. Oh, and one last thing. A church who's involved in the community. A church who realizes it's also their responsibility to reach out to the homeless, to those that are struggling. Community things, whatever it might be. Another important aspect of church. So there you go. Pastor Bob's checklist. God bless you. Have a great day.